Hello, our honorable speakers, Dr. Tanun Unjah, our Deputy Director of International Relations, UKM Global University Kebangsaan Malaysia, Madam Erwina A. Ghaffar, Deputy Director, MFUC Malaysia for Promotion Alumni Industrial Work. Of course, our participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum, Selamat datang, good afternoon and bonjour. Thank you so much for being participate in this program. Selamat datang, welcome everyone to Study in France event. This event is jointly organized by UKM and MFUC, Malaysian France University Center. There are over 230 registered participants here, okay, that has registered to this event. They are mainly students from various universities throughout Malaysia. Other than students, we have professors, administrators, and staff. Also international students from our partner universities. We greatly appreciate your presence and hopefully this event will inspire everyone to study in France, may that be in education or research or both, perhaps participating in students and staff exchange program. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to call Dr. Tanun Unjah, our Deputy Director of UKM Global, to deliver her welcoming remarks. But before that, let me tell you, Dr. Tanu Unjah. She is also a researcher. She's also based at Institute for Environment and Development. In short, is Let's Study in UKM. Please welcome that, Dr. Tanu Unjah. The virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Hafiz. Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. And first, firstly, on behalf of International Relations Center, UKM, and our partner in this program, Campus France in Malaysia and Campus France, we would like to firstly welcome our honorable speakers, Ms. Alice Limonga from Campus France in Malaysia, Ms. Marina Lozada, Université de Paris, and then Mr. Raphael C. Belik, I hope I pronounced it right, Clermont Institute of Technology, and Ms. Juliette Montieu, EM Normandy Business School. And I hope they will bring a great programs to all of you and share good programs to all of us in which we will benefit out of it. But I would like to say hello as well and welcome to all the participants, our students and staff. Today, as Mr. Hafiz had mentioned, more than 200 of people have registered, and out of it, 12 public university and private university in the country. I believe this kind of webinar very beneficial to all of us as we want to pursue our studies in France and look forward to opportunity to it. It's either we are look forward to that study or we are in a position of sharing that opportunity with others. So whatever your position is, I hope you benefited from this engagement this afternoon. And I would like to end it with a quote from Lloyd Alexander, an American author, because I'm a researcher, so I think it's really connected to me in terms of as a postgraduate study, saying like, we learn more by looking for an answer to questions and not finding it than we do from learning not to answer itself. So with that, I wish all of you who are present here this afternoon have a wonderful and fruitful webinar. Thank you, and merci everyone. Back to you, Mr. Hafiz.
Thank you, Dr. Tanu. Okay, for the next sessions, I would like to call upon my students, John Sebastian and Alexandra Prudente. It's all yours.
Hello, sir. Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. Hello, sir. Good afternoon, good morning to from wherever you're from. Hello and bonjour, everyone. Once again, welcome to the Study in France live webinar organized by the Malaysian France University Center in collaboration with Campus France and UKM. My name is John Sebastian Tunggolo, a third-year student from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, currently pursuing an education degree in teaching English as a second language. With me here today is Alexandra Prudente, and we will be your hosts for today.
Yes, hi everyone. Bonjour, John and everyone. Welcome again. Thank you for taking the time to join us in today's session. So we've got a great lineup for you today with representatives from Campus France in Malaysia, Université de Paris, Claremont Institute of Technology, and also Normandy Business School.
So before we continue, here are some housekeeping rules for today's webinar. Firstly, microphones should be muted at all times unless you are speaking. Secondly, feel free to leave your cameras on. It will be nice to see everyone today, all 189 participants in this webinar today. Thirdly, should there be any questions, please leave them in the chat box and they shall be answered during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. All right, so without further ado, let's welcome our first speaker for today. She is none other than Miss Alice Lemonnier. She represents Campus France in Malaysia and also holds the position of Deputy Director of Malaysian France University Centre under the Cooperation and Student Council Service. Let us all welcome Miss Alice.
Thank you, John. Hello, everybody. So thank you for joining this webinar, and thank you so much, UKM, to organize it with us. It's such a nice event, and it's always a great pleasure to speak about studying in France. I hope everybody is well and safe at home. So I'm Alice. I'm the French Deputy Director at MFUC, the Malaysia France University Centre, and I'm also the representative of Campus France in Malaysia. So I will share with you my screen. Just one thing. Yeah. Can you see it? It works?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the Malaysia France University Centre, at the Malaysia France University Centre, our main objectives are to reinforce the cooperation between France and Malaysia in higher education and research, but also to find programs that best match the needs of Malaysian and French students according to their area of interest. And finally, especially as the representative of Campus France, our goal is to advise students for their stay in France. So just to give you a broad picture of what you might experience if you go study in France, I want to share with you a short video. Okay, so I hope you're already convinced. Sorry, but just to be sure, I'm gonna share with you some good reasons why to study in France. So first of all, France is a diverse and really pleasant environment in the heart of Europe. So we have a really rich cultural life. We have more than 40,000 monuments and protected sites, 8,000 museums, 2,000 cinemas, and over 40 cultural sites appearing on the UNESCO World Heritage List. So plenty of things to do if you go in France to study. For example, we can see that you can go relax under the Eiffel Tower that you may know. Go check the lavender fields in Provence, the region of Provence, which is really nice. You can also enjoy the coastline in the Mediterranean Sea, or even go skiing if you like that. So one interesting thing about France is the cost of living. So the average budget per month for a student in Paris, it's a bit more expensive than in the rest of France because it's the capital. So it would be around 1,000 euros. But elsewhere, you may get a budget for 600 euros, which is interesting. And the good thing is, as a student, you will have access to university restaurants and dormitories, which are really cheap. You will get access to a student card. Everybody has one, and it gives you discounts in shops, in cinemas, in many places. Also, you will get a reduction for public transportation and special fares for cultural and sport events. So many things to do when you're a student in France. About the tuition fees, in the public universities, it would be up to a maximum of 3,770 euros for a master program. As you can see with this little diagram, the French government takes charge of a large part of your studies because they pay for master program for 10,000 euros. In private institutions, it will really depend on the program you choose to study. Sorry. Another good reason to study in France is that it's a world-class economic power. So it's the world's 7th largest economy in the world, with many advanced industries and international corporations, leaders in the field. So we have 31 of the world's 500 largest corporations. You may have heard about them. We have Airbus for aeronautics, Total for energy, Orange for telecommunications, L'Oréal for cosmetics, and Veolia for water technologies, and many others. So it can give you a great opportunity, for example, to do internships in those companies in France, in Europe, or somewhere else in the world. We also have a large diversity of programs because we have more than 3,600 public and private institutions. So in public universities, you will get more professionally oriented degrees or research-oriented degrees. We have also more than 200 engineering schools, which are highly selective, but once you are an engineer from an engineering school in France, you can work everywhere in the world, I assure you. We also have more than 200 business and management schools, which are one of the best in the world. So it can be also a really good option if you want to study this kind of field. And we also have School of Arts, schools of architectures, and many institutes, both public and private, covering really specific fields. For example, agronomy, political sciences, we will talk about this later, or journalism. And in all those institutions, there is a strong emphasis on employability. So you will get, as I said, internship opportunities in France, in Europe, or anywhere in the world. And you, as a student from a French university, you can also access to Erasmus Plus scholarships that will allow you, for example, to study for 1 or 2 semesters in another university in Europe, or even to do an internship. Scholarships are also made to help you fund your internships in Europe. France is also a popular study destination, so you will not be the only foreign student there. In 2019, we welcomed around 350,000 international students. So France is one of the first choice among non-English speaking countries after the US and UK. And of course, we haven't mentioned it yet, but we have really good quality of arts, music. The food is really good, and we know it's important, do it well. We also have really high quality education, an affordable and efficient healthcare system, and France is also a top tourist destination, so you will never get bored if you go study in France. So I will briefly tell you how the French higher education system works. So it's based on the European degree system, which is called LMD. L is for licence or bachelor in English, M for master, and D for doctorat or PhD. So the academic year in France is organized into 2 semesters, and each degree corresponds to a number of ECTS credits, which are European Credit Transfer System. And this system is really useful because, for example, if you want to start studying in Italy and for a year and you want to change and go to France, you can use those credits and they will be recognized in a French university. So the system is a bit different than the Malaysian system. You can see it on the diagram. So the license in France, the bachelor is in 3 years, 6 semesters. The master is in 2 years, and the doctorate it's at least 3 years after master. The good thing about France also is that we have a diversity of programs that you can study. So, for example, I don't know, if you want to study business and management, you will find something. But if you want to study veterinary, we have really good schools. Agronomy, art design, fashion, everything, you will find it in France, for sure. So how to find your postgraduate program and how to apply? Campus France has implemented a really great tool, which is called the Campus France Online Catalog. And it includes more than 30,000 programs from bachelor to PhD levels. And I really recommend to use it because you can do your research using a selection by field of study or academic level, geographic region, if you already know where you want to go study, and also keywords. So it's really a good starting point if you want to start looking for studies in France. And good news, no need to be fluent in French to study in France. So we have more than 1,400 programs in English, sorry. And the good thing is that those programs are often completed by French classes. So even though you're studying in English, you will get to access the French language in some classes. And anyway, if you're living in France, you will see you will manage at some point to speak a little bit of French. Yeah, and I think it's a really good thing because you can gain another language. For those programs, students will generally be required to provide a degree certificate and sometimes a TOEFL or IELTS exam. So how to apply? How to apply for a master's degree? You can contact directly the universities. Normally, all the information to apply is accessible on their website pages. And to access the French higher education system at a postgrad level, you need a bachelor degree or an equivalent. So many bachelor degrees that you can get in Malaysia are recognized by the French government and by the French universities. And if the program is in French, you will need a language certificate. Sometimes it might be B2, sometimes it might be C1. I don't know if you're aware of those levels, but if you have any question, you can ask me. So that's the major requirements. And then each university can ask for other documents, maybe a cover letter, a CV, etc. So I wanted to share with you some funding opportunities. At MFUC, we implement one of the scholarships funded by the Embassy of France in Malaysia called MFUC Master Scholarship. And the objective of this scholarship is to support the mobility of Malaysian master students who wants to pursue their studies in France. So the scholarship funds 1 or 2 semesters in a French higher education. It's open to all Malaysian citizens who have applied to a higher education institution in France. And the allowance is of 900 euros per month that allows you to cover all the expenditure linked to the mobility. And an interesting thing is that you get the French government scholar status, meaning that if you go to a public university or public school, you won't get to pay the tuition fees. So application will open in May. So if you're interested, you can go check our website and you will get all the information there. Another interesting opportunity is the Islamic Development Bank co-funding scholarship program. So it was launched last year in 2020 and it will be reiterated in 2021. So it's for all the academic level, bachelor, master, or research. Again, you have to be a Malaysian citizen and you have to be able to study in France in the fields covered by the program. So I will let you check later if you're interested. There are many fields of study available. The allowance is 700 euros. They pay also for your flight ticket. And again, you gain the French government scholar status, which is really interesting. Application should be open in June. I would advise you to follow us on our social media to get to know when it will be on. And it will be directly through the ISDB website. A very interesting program as well is the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degrees. So the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degrees, quite a long name, is an international study program on a very specific field. It's jointly delivered by an international consortium of higher education institutions, for example, a university in France, a university in Italy, and a university in Germany, for example. It can last from a minimum of 12 months to a maximum of 24 months. And it's open to every student who has already a first higher education degree, such as a bachelor. It's really an interesting program if you know what you want to study and if you're ready to discover several new countries. And once you are admitted, you can ask for the scholarship and it will help you fund your studies. It covers everything, basically. So it's a really, really interesting program if you want to go check it out. Another scholarship, we have many scholarships. This one is established by the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The goal was to attract top foreign students at a master or PhD level. So for next year, it's already too late because the application, because I think if you plan to go abroad next year, or even if you're going to do some PhD one day, I mean, it's a really interesting program. So the applications start in October and the deadline usually is December. They are really targeted fields. There is law, economy, management, engineering sciences, and political sciences. And to apply, you have to contact the person in charge of the program you're interested in. So you have to, because the first step of selection is made by the universities themselves. So you have to contact them directly and they will let you know if they're interested in your profile, etc. And one last scholarship opportunity, it's called Make Our Planet Great Again. So it was established by the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Higher Education and Campus France. And it's for master or PhD research programs in France. And it covers the topics related to Earth systems, climate change and sustainability, energy transition, societal challenges of environmental issues. So it's really a targeted area, but if you're interested in doing a program, in master program in France in those areas, you can check this scholarship because it's really a great opportunity to help you fund your studies. And after your master, if you want to do some research, France is also a really great place to go. So the PhD or doctorat in French is the highest degree awarded by universities and it's internationally recognized. The PhD has to be under the supervision of a thesis supervisor and can also be with two supervisors, one in France, one in Malaysia, for example. And it's a really good opportunity for you to get access to two different research environments. In France, it can be done in all universities and even in some engineering, management or art schools if they are associated with the universities. And all the PhD in France are organized by doctoral schools, which are attached to public research laboratories. To find a PhD offer, if you're interested, you can also consult the Campus France catalog. That will give you an idea. There are many catalogs, so if you're interested, don't hesitate to contact us. I talked a lot, so I wanted to share with you a testimonial from one of our alumni, Zarif, who studied an engineering degree in chemical process. So I will try to share the video with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Zarif. I was in France for 6 years. I think the difference is in how we like to learn the core theory of it and not just like simply applying stuff. You become curious towards why those things happen. And the French are very good with theories, academics. When you study in France, you get to like emulate some of that. And I think that's very, very good. I think Malaysians should really go to France to study because I think number one is the most underrated place on this planet for you to study, because in terms of the academic level is very high, provided that you know which universities you go to. It's very high, it's very demanding, and at the same time when you go to France you get to like expand outside of your comfort zone. You are going outside of your comfort zone because you are learning in a different language, and at the same time your team members, your colleagues are from a different culture, and you have to have that openness of heart for you to like absorb those new things. And you know, it's a wonderful world out there. Just go out there. It's a wonderful experience, wonderful adventure. Just go out there. Thank you.
Sorry. So here are some useful links. We will share the presentation with you. So if you want to access them, so you have short and summer programs, programs taught in English, bachelor and master's degrees, and also research for internships, PhD and postdoc. So I wanted to share our social media with you. Please don't hesitate to contact us. So we cannot welcome you physically for now, but if you want to write us an email, the email is here. We can plan a Skype meeting or a Zoom meeting, anything, if you want to chat about your project of studying in France. And don't forget to follow us on our social media and to follow our website, because we post many informations. So it's the best way to get the last updates on studying in France. Thank you so much for your attention. I will leave the floor to my colleagues. Yeah, thank you again, and please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any question and if you want more information about studying in France. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Alice. Thank you very much for that very insightful presentation. So I personally was not aware that there were so many different opportunities to further studies in France. So the video in the beginning with the Eiffel Tower and the fireworks was so beautiful. So I hope it has sparked some inspiration among our participants here today. And just a friendly reminder, if anyone has any questions, we will have a Q&A session at the end of our program. All right. So next we have Ms. Mariana Losada, who is the Regional Director for Southeast Asia from the Université de Paris, to present about the postgraduate programs at Sciences Po. Please welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm delighted to be part of this event, and I hope I will be able to present some of our programs here. Just very small details. So indeed, I'm actually based in Singapore, so not that far away from KL, and I wish I could go there again. It's been actually a year. That was my last trip before the pandemic. So yeah, I look forward to coming back when the situation gets better. So I'm based in Singapore. I've been here for the past 5 years, and I represent three institutions. So one is Université de Paris, that is a public university, a comprehensive university, of course, based in Paris. The other one is Sciences Po. So it's a different, separate institution that is also based in Paris, and we have some regional campuses, but only for undergraduate education. And the third one is INALCO, that is the Institute for Oriental Languages and Civilizations. But today, Alice asked me to talk about Sciences Po. So this is what I will do. And if you have any questions about the other institutions, or if you're curious or want to know more, you can visit the website, and then you can reach out to me anytime, and I will be happy to schedule a call and tell you more about the other two institutions. So let me start sharing my screen with you. Just a second. Okay, so I guess, okay, let me go back. Okay. Can you see it properly? Yeah, okay, so Sciences Po, as I said, is one of the schools I work for, is France's leading university in the social sciences. So all our programs are related to the social sciences. It's not like a comprehensive university in which you can study anything. I mean, it comes, the presentation that Alice made was very interesting and comprehensive. So you could see this is part of the 3,000 schools in which you can do social science, political sciences, and so on. So I will focus on the graduate studies. And you can see that we have different schools in which you can do a variety of programs, not only political science. So some facts and figures. Sciences Po is a well-established institution in France. It was founded almost 150 years ago. It's a relatively small, 14,000 students with all the different programs. Very well known for politics and international studies. We've been ranked number 2nd in the QS 2020 ranking. We have 28 master programs, 5 one-year master programs for students who are mid-career or have already professional experience, 5 PhD programs, and over 50 dual degree programs with partners institutions around the world. So it is very international. We have over 150 nationalities, and almost 50% of our students comes from outside of France. And we also have a lot of partner universities. So if you are a student at Sciences Po, you can also experience another education system and another great institution, because you are able to go for a semester abroad to study there. So let me start presenting our graduate studies. I mentioned that we have 7 graduate schools and 28 master programs, all in the social sciences. These are the schools that we have at Sciences Po. So the School of Public Affairs, Paris School of International Affairs, the School of Management and Innovation, the Law School, the Urban School, the School of Research, that is a doctoral school, so where you can do a PhD, and the School of Journalism. So each school offers a different master programs. They have, of course, that stays within the social science, but you will see that you have a lot of different approaches to the social sciences. All these programs take place in Paris. You have a little bit about some information about the type of students that are in this campus, and that includes also undergraduate students, not just the master students. And this is basically what our students do after graduation. So you can see that they go on very diverse sectors, like, of course, some of them go to public administration, because Sciences Po is very well known for politics and international studies, but we also have students who go to consulting, banking, finance, culture, communication, business, the media, the industry, like energy, education, and so on. And because it's so international, a lot of them start their career outside of France. So you can see the distribution about where our graduates go after their studies. I will start with the School of Public Affairs. That is really the school in which you can do, if you like to work for public administration or work in public policy, this is a school that you have to choose. So we offer different type of master degrees. Something that is very important is that all our schools at Sciences Po offer programs in English, most of them. And of course, if you are a French-speaking student, you will have access to courses in French, or you have programs that are taught in French, but most of them are taught in English. So you have really a lot of choices if you're interested in the social sciences. So you can see the two masters, public policy or European affairs. You have different policy stream. It could be public administration, security and defense, global health and energy and environment, economic and public policy, and so on and so forth. So you see that the offer is very diverse, because when we think of social science or political science, you think of something that is very focused and narrow, and actually there are a lot of different options. So at this School of Public Affairs, that is actually the school in which the majority of the French students go. So we have 70% of our student population that comes from France, compared to other schools that you will see that are more international. Offers also a lot of dual master degrees with the universities that are mentioned on the red square. So Columbia University, Frey in Berlin, Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in Singapore, LSE, Bocconi, Monk in Canada. So you see that we have very good partnerships with top institutions around the world. So this is the case for other schools as well, and I say this now. Those dual master degrees, you'll see that from each school, it varies a little bit. We might have other universities, but most of the time, are very strategic and good partners establish different type of master programs for different schools. So this is basically the sectors in which our graduates go to work for this school. So, same sectors as I mentioned before, also very diverse. This is the Paris School of International Affairs, which is very, very well known, very competitive. We offer different type of master programs in international security, international governance and diplomacy, international economic policy, development, human rights, environmental policy, international energy. And 62% of the students of this school are from abroad. And you can also specialize in different regional areas like African studies, the Americas, Asian studies, and so on. And I guess a lot of the reputation that Sciences Po has abroad is thanks to this international affairs school, because it became very well known and also very selective. And the school offered dual master programs with the schools that are, with the universities that are mentioned on the red frame. So you have Peking, you have LSE again, King's, Georgetown, Columbia, and so on. Well, the employment sectors are similar. We always take into account the percentage of students from each school that go to a several sector, but you can see that even if you choose a school, you are able to navigate between different sectors. Then we have the School of Management and Innovation, which is similar to a business school. But the difference is that the objective and the strategy of the school is to train business leaders that are socially responsible and also very, of course, engaged and innovative. So these are the master's degrees that we offer at the school related to communication, creative industry, the media, but also finance, strategy, digital transformation, management and sustainability that I mentioned before, very socially responsible. Also marketing like new luxury and art de vivre, And all these programs, are either only in French or bilingual or only in English. The employment, etc. Then we have the law school that educate legal professionals. We offer master's degree in economic law that we offer in French and English. And then the other ones are in French. We also have an LLM that is not indicated there, that is 1 year master program offered by the school that is fully taught in English if you're interested in international arbitration. And mainly the students who come to this school are from France. We have 60% international. And also the partners that we have are with French institutions. We also have the urban school. So if you're interested in urban affairs, how the city is transforms, if you're interested in, the smart city, the urban school might be a good choice. We offer 2 master programs that are fully taught in English: Master in Governing Large Metropolis and Governing Ecological Transitions in European Cities. So I was thinking, for example, when Alice showed some of the scholarships that I think it was the Islamic Bank that was targeting students in certain studies, that would be a very good scholarship for someone interested in these issues, because somebody applying for the governing ecological transitions could be a good candidate for the scholarship and the program too. The sector is the same. We have the doctoral school that now we changed its name to the research school for students who are interested in research and would like to continue on a PhD. So we have different master's degrees: economic, history, political science, with different concentrations: comparative politics, political behavior, international relations, and so on. Sociology, and then we have the PhD degrees in economics, law, history, political science, and sociology, and some dual master's degrees as well, and also dual PhD degrees with Columbia University, the Max Planck Research School, Northwestern, and the University of Cologne. Okay, so it's employment for the doctoral school. Of course, it depends on where you start your studies, but a lot of graduates from the doctoral school would like to go to academia, but not necessarily. So it really depends, but it opens a lot of opportunities too. Finally, we have the School of Journalism. So the School of Journalism is a very competitive school. Most of the students we have are French, because we only offer one program that is taught in English. It's the Joint Master in Journalism and International Affairs. And it's a little bit special in the sense that we have general rules, even though we have a lot of different programs and different prerequisites are applied to each program. I think the journalism schools is the one that has the most exceptions. So if you're interested in this school, then you can go to our website and you have all the information about how to apply, what are the requirements, the grades, and so on. And again, most of the graduates, they go to the media, digital media, agencies, or the print media, the radio, or startups, or so. So I will tell you, okay, I don't have much time, but I will go quite fast. So you apply online. Basically, all the information is on the website. You go to sciencespo/admissions, and you have all the details on how to apply. For most of the programs, except for the School of Journalism, you don't have to pass an interview. It's an online application. but it's done on different phases. So there are a lot of prerequisites because Sciences Po is very selective. So you need to have a certain grades during your undergraduate studies. You need a curriculum, you need letters of recommendation from your former professors, or sometimes a professional letter of recommendation. So you have really, is very comprehensive. You have everything online. And for some programs, the deadline has passed, especially for the dual master programs, but we still have some programs that are open until the 28th of February. So if you are interested in exploring, what Sciences Po offers, and you still have the possibility to apply, I encourage you to visit the website. In terms of the tuition fees, since Sciences Po is one of those schools that is not part of, it's a public institution, but privately managed, the fees are not the same as public universities, which is, for example, the case as the other institutions I work for. So the tuition fees for graduate programs per year are 18,000 euros. But we do offer a lot of scholarships. So apart from the ones that Alice mentioned, Sciences Po has its own scholarship scheme that is called the MFUC scholarship. And these are for the one-year master programs, but these are for professionals who have, who want to take a break. So these are slightly higher because it's only 1 year and you need to have professional experience mid-career. But otherwise, the scholarships, like the MFUC scholarship I mentioned that you can see on this slide, gives you an allowance and also up to around 70% of the fees. And we also have other schemes. So you can visit our website and check the financial aid page. Well, just in a few words, we always, except for now that we have the pandemic, have a lot of people giving presentations at Sciences Po. You have some of them there, like former Secretary General of the UN or Prime Minister of New Zealand, Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook, so on and so forth. A lot of activities for the students and a very large network of alumni, 90,000 all over the world. We do have an association in Malaysia that was created last year. So if you study at Sciences Po and you would be part of this alumni association. Well, we offer non-academic services for the students. And we also have a summer school if you're interested. I saw that Alice show a link with the different summer programs in France. Sciences Po has a summer school that offers French classes, but also social sciences classes. So depending on what you're interested in, we have 2 tracks. You can visit the summer school website and check it out. We are currently offering programs that are online. And the admissions are opening this week. Finally, you have my email address here. If you want to reach out, feel free to contact me. And if you scan that QR code, you will get access to a Sciences Po brochure that has all the information that I just mentioned. So thank you very much. And I'll be happy to respond to your questions later. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana, for the lovely presentation. It's amazing how Sciences Po caters to so many students from various fields of study. And I can only imagine how diverse the students are in Sciences Po with the many schools and courses that Sciences Po offers. And I am in awe that renowned designer Christine Dior is also an alumni of Sciences Po. So merci, Ms. Mariana. Now let's move on to our third speaker for today. Our third presentation will be focusing on postgraduate programs at Clermont-Venn INP. This will be presented by Mr. Raphael Beylicke, who is the head of the international office at Claremont Institute of Technology. it gives me great pleasure to welcome Mr. Rafael.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, it's my pleasure as well to be with you today. Thank you very much for inviting me and for giving us the chance to share our educational offer in technologies and sciences with you. I do have great memories from Malaysia when I was there last time in 2019. So I met a lot of interesting students, a lot of different profiles, and what I do am fond of the most is the food. So I look very much forward to go there the next time to Malaysia. Let me share my screen now. I hope you can see this. Is that, can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So first of all, I have a slightly short presentation because something is quite new, and this is the Clermont Institute of Technology. We have just been merged at January 1st of this year. So please do excuse me because we don't have a lot of communication support for now. So my presentation is slightly shorter. But I do recommend you that you write to me whenever you have any questions. I will leave my email address later in the feed. So what I'd like to present to you today is the Clermont Institute of Technology, or Clermont Auvergne INP, which is basically a graduate school of engineering and sciences. Let me give you some quick facts and figures. So as I mentioned, we had just been created as the result of a merger of 3 different engineering schools here in the city of Clermont-Ferrand. However, the roots of our Institute of Technology date back until 1906 as the fourth actually chemistry school of France was founded here in the city of Clermont-Ferrand. Clermont Institute of Technology is located in Clermont-Ferrand, which is a city, here you can see a little map, located more in the center south of France, in the region of Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, with the capital of Lyon. So basically, it's very well located in France. You can go to Bordeaux to have some wine tasting and to see the Atlantic coast in 3 hours. You can go to Switzerland and to the Alps in 3 hours to do some skiing or to buy some chocolate. Or you can go south 3 hours to the Mediterranean Sea to go to the beach. And you have, of course, Paris to visit your friends and colleagues who study at Sciences Po, which is only 4 hours away. So as you can see, we're pretty well located if you want to discover a broad landscape of France and different regions and cultures. We offer 19 different study programs in engineering. I will go into more detail on the next slide. And we also do have one doctoral school that covers all those kind of programs for PhD studies. We are a public institution, meaning that the fees Alice showed you before are the fees that apply to us. For master studies, this would be 3,770 euros per year, academic year. We do, however, offer as well the possibility of grants, or we offer students coming from partner universities in Malaysia special discounts or a total fee waiver. That being said, we do have some history with Malaysian students. We have a long program running with a French program called Sphere, who sends us every year Malaysian students who are Petronas grant holders in chemical engineering. So we do have some small experience with Malaysian students who are always very good and have very good academic standing, and we hope to get more in the future. Based on the ranking, we are 18th in technology and sciences nationwide in France. 151 in the range 151-200 for the Times Young University ranking. And when it comes to scientific papers, we're based 12th in France. Overall, we have 2,100 students registered in all different programs concerning engineering and sciences. 14% of them are international, from more than 40 countries. Most of them, however, come from Latin America due to some special programs we have, bilateral programs between the French government and Latin American governments. But as I said, we also have Malaysian students. And so we see an increase in students from Southeast Asia coming, and we hope this is a tendency that will continue in the next years. We are connected with different research laboratories. If you're interested in doing research work, research internships, or even a doctorate, well, you're more than welcome to come to us. The Clermont Institute of Technology is well connected in different technology networks in France, which basically is the group INP, together with our partner schools in Toulouse, Bordeaux, Grenoble, and Nancy. But we're also part of the Polytech network, the Mines Telecom network, and the Chemistry Alliance Fédération Gay-Lussac. Clermont Institute of Technology is composed of 3 different engineering schools that you can see here, who offer a broad range of engineering studies. I don't need to read them all to you. I can just have it shown here on the screen. As you can see, all fields of engineering and sciences are mostly covered. What is a specialty, however, is that in France, usually chemistry is taught in engineering schools, which is different in other countries. So I guess also in Malaysia, chemistry is taught at the university, at the Faculty of Life Sciences, for instance, or sciences. Chemistry in France is taught at engineering schools. All those programs you see here are in French language. However, every school offers English-speaking programs, or even English-speaking engineering diploma programs. Just a reminder about the higher education system in France. Alice showed you before the general system that unfortunately does not apply to engineering schools. It is a little bit different because for engineering studies, there is no system existing, bachelor and master. The students who want to do engineering studies in France do have to pass 2 years in a preparatory class, which can be done in several institutions, in order to be prepared for a competitive entrance exam. And once they have done this exam and got admission to an engineering school, when they study 3 years, and this would largely be the master program. However, international students, when they come to us, they usually join the second year. They start here at the second year, which then is actually the equivalent of the graduate level. Just to give you a quick overview about where we are on the campus location. So as you can see, everything is located on the science campus in the south of the city, which is very convenient for our students. You have all member schools of Clermont Institute of Technology on the same campus. And the campus also offers a lot of student facilities that you need throughout the day. So you got canteens, libraries, sports facilities, supermarkets are not far away, and most importantly, the student residences. What is one good thing about Clermont-Ferrand, the city of Clermont-Ferrand, is that we can actually almost guarantee student housing for all international students, because we are very well connected, and we can arrange ourselves with the CRUS, which is the body who manages housing, and this is a big plus for us compared to other bigger cities. Like I said in the beginning, 14% of our students are coming from abroad. We have 200 international partnerships, which help us to send all our students abroad, which is now an obligation. In order to get the master degree in engineering, you need to go abroad. But also, this also helps us to receive a lot of students from different countries in different study areas. I would also like to outline that Clermont Institute of Technology has been awarded the label of excellence in welcoming international students. So it is very important for us to provide the best service in welcoming international students. So we can guarantee you that there is a high-skilled team working together with you in preparing your arrival and accompanying you throughout your studies here in Clermont-Ferrand. What is also very important to understand is that engineering studies in France are extremely well connected to the industry. All our students studying in engineering here have to do several amounts of internships in companies, such as big national companies like the tire company Michelin or Airbus or Sanofi for chemistry. So basically, every student who comes here and studies here has also the opportunity to do one of those internships and to gain more professional experience. This is a short overview about some research laboratories that might be interesting for you if you want to pursue, I'm sorry, I'm already running late, PhD studies. I will leave this presentation with Alice later on so she can share it with you. Just to give you some features about Clermont-Ferrand, if you want to come around. So we are a rather medium-sized city in France with roughly 300,000 inhabitants. However, 35,000 students, so which makes it a very good student city. In some different magazines, we have been several times ranked best cities for studying due to the low costs and the services provided for the students. And we also, when it comes to housing, one of the cheapest cities for students in France. This is the last slide. I just wanted to show you some pictures and trigger some interest in you to come to Clermont-Ferrand. One thing we are most famous for are our volcanoes. It's the most dense areas for volcanoes in Europe. But don't worry, they are all dormant or dead, so nothing can happen. It's just nice to look at. It's nice to hike. And of course, in winter, like now, we have a lot of snow. So you can start learning how to ski or snowboard. And it's also a very old city, founded before the Romans. So you have a lot of different architectural styles and some nice old medieval areas. But mostly and most importantly, it's a student city. So usually students have a lot of fun. They go out a lot. Once COVID is over, they can do that again and meet and have a lot of different activities. Thank you very much for your attention. I will leave my email address in the feed, so please don't hesitate to contact me if you need some information about how to apply. We will provide every information you need. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Raphael. All right. So it's interesting to know that Clermont-Auvergne caters to very good engineering and sciences programs. And the location is very strategic as well, so close to the mountains and the countryside. So I believe there are quite a lot of our participants here from different backgrounds. And I think we have students from engineering, education, media and communication, and science as well. So thank you, MFUC, for inviting a very good variety of speakers today. And once again, our Q&A session will be held at the end of all the presentations. Okay, so now we will move on to the final presentation for today. Let us welcome Ms. Juliette Montuel, the International Admission Manager at EM Normandy Business School, to present about their postgraduate opportunities. Welcome.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you, Alexandra, and thank you, Alice, for the welcome in this webinar session. I'm very happy to be talking to all of you today. This is a first for me in Malaysia, so it's a pleasure. So I'll be presenting today our business school in Normandy. Let me share my screen so I can show you more details. Can Alexandra or Alice tell me if this is screening right now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. And do you see it in full screen or is it shared screen?
We see it as a shared screen.
Okay, I think it's good now.
Yes.
All right, so this is EM Normandy Business School. So EM is for École de Management, so management school. We are one of the oldest French business school, actually. We've been in Le Havre for 150 years, so it's a very big anniversary for us in 2021. We are ranked within the 20th best French business school in the rankings in French. And we are in the top 100 internationally. So in the QS World University ranking, we're 71st for a master's and 81st in the Financial Times ranking. Same again for a master's degree. And we have a double accreditation, one from the AACSB Symposium, which is an American accreditation, and we have the EQUIS accreditation, which is less known, but it's a European prestigious accreditation. And so on the right corner, you can see our campus in Le Havre. This is our newest campus, so it just opened in September 2020. It's brand new. And I'll be talking in more details about our master's degree a little later, so you'll have plenty of opportunity to see that Le Havre is really a must-see when you come to EM Normandy. So a few details on our key figures. We have at the moment 5,000 full-time and part-time students. They come from 50 different places around the world. About a fourth of our students are international, so it's a pretty good ratio. We also partner with 200 universities around the world, and we have 25 dual degrees with them. So that's an option for master's students in our school. We have 95 professors. Most of them have a PhD, and we also use the services of external professionals, especially in some specialized domains in management, where we find it's very interesting to have professionals come in classes and explain what it is exactly in the market. We have 5,000 partner companies with which we work every day. We work with them either for internships seeking for our students. They also provide for case studies, and sometimes we also hire our students. So it's some of these partnerships are very old and very strong. So we nurture them preciously. We also have a network of 20,000 members in our alumni network. So this is a strong community that is helpful for every new student. It's helpful during studies if you have, for example, questions about your career and you want to know where to go. But it also will be useful for you after your studies when you're graduated, so that you can get also insight into a specific domain. If you want to start your own company and you need some advice, or you need to get started in a specific place and you find an alumni, this is a very strong asset. And finally, with our partner companies and some of our alumni, we're able to find 15,000 offers of jobs and internships yearly. Some of these are just public offers, but a very big part of these offers are exclusive to the school. So we are happy to offer this to our students. Okay, so now a little more about our campuses. So we're a French business school, so 3 of our campuses will be in France. The first and biggest and newest one, as I said, is in Le Havre. So you will see on the bottom corner that Le Havre is situated in the western part of France, just above Brittany. So this is the Normandy region. We have one big campus as well in Caen, which is pretty close. It's just 1 hour, 1 hour by car. And then our most recent campus in France is Paris. This is where I'm based. So I guess everyone knows about Paris. And if you're wondering where it's located, well, it's right in the middle of the map, northern part of France. And then we have 2 campuses outside of France, one in Dublin in Ireland and one in Oxford in the UK. So these are smaller campuses, but they enable us to welcome our students during, for example, 1 semester. For those of you who are interested to also travel a little during their studies, or some of our specialties during the master's degrees will be offered on these campuses. So a little more about each campus. I will just have a few words about them. We could spend a lot of time talking about them, but a few words will be enough for you just to grasp what makes their specialty. So Le Havre, it's Normandy's largest city. It's also a very big port. So for those of you who are interested in anything that's related to maritime transportation, logistics, supply chain, anything that will be also connected to international exchanges, that will be a very nice location to seek. It will offer a lot of career opportunities for you. Other than that, it's also an interesting city due to its history. It was heavily destructed during the Second World War and reconstructed very, very fast. So it gives a very peculiar architectural aspect to this city. It's super interesting to explore. And around the city, you have a beautiful landscape in the countryside. So if you're into maritime sports, or if you like to bike around, it's a very interesting countryside to explore. I'll just go into Caen next to do the link. Caen is also a very nice countryside to explore. It's a very big student city. More than 14,000 students are studying in Caen each year. It's also very well known for its research centers. Our campus in Caen is located just next to a very big medical center. And it's just a little outside the city. But well, it's not a very big city, so it's well connected. One of the perks of this is that it's very, very easy to find an apartment or a studio just next to the campus. So you can have an easy life this way and just go into the city whenever you want by bus or tramway. And so in between Caen and Le Havre, you have plenty of opportunities to go around and have outdoor activities, which is super nice in Normandy, especially with the kind of weather we have. So as you can imagine, so close to the sea, you have a maritime weather. And they say that in Normandy, you see the sun every day and also the rain every day. So I hope you like a changing weather. That's what makes it most exciting. So just a little back going to Paris. So Paris is an enchanting city. It has so much to offer, so many things to see, so many things to do. Of course, at the moment we are under a curfew, so there are not a lot of things to do right now in January. Maybe it will also go on for a little while, but I assure you that coming September, we're doing our best to have the right conditions to welcome our students, and we really hope that all our cities will be open to offer the very best to the students. And in Paris, there's a lot to see. Restaurants, cinemas, theaters. If you're into culture, this is really the place to be. Also, if you're looking to work in big companies, in companies that are linked to the international, you will always find an opportunity in Paris. It's the place where you can work in English or in other languages, and you will meet a lot of cultures there. So it's really a place to see. Whether you go to Paris or not, if you come to France, it's interesting to go through Paris. Good news is, if you go to Normandy and you wanted to see Paris, it's only 1 hour by train. Sorry, 2 hours per train, so it's super close actually, and it's easy to go there just for 1 day or 1 weekend. Okay, I'll go into more details about our postgraduate programs. So we have 3 kinds of programs that could be of interest for you. The first one will be a full master cycle, so it's 2 years. And then we'll have another kind of offer, which will be just a little more than 1 year program. So we say it's 15 months. The reason is that you have a long internship at the end of the program. So that's really sums up to 15 months. And within that kind of program, you will have an offer in English and an offer in French. So I believe most of you will speak English, but I still wanted to mention that you can also learn in French if you're interested. So about a master in management, what kind of discipline you can seek. The first year will, in any case, be a core management course. It will be generic. So you will see a little of everything in management. There will be law, there will be accounting, there will be strategic leadership, a little bit of everything, so that you can really grasp what is management in France, in Europe. And then during your second year, this is where you really dive into your specialization, the one that will orientate your career later. So in terms of specializations that you can seek, you can choose between any of the ones that are listed in the middle column. So all of these are in English. You can also choose an M2, so a second year of masters in French. You never know, maybe you'll be fully fluent in French by that time. Or we have also 3 more that are listed in the left column. So this is international business in English, and 2 in French that are in Paris and Caen. So you will notice that all of them have a specific campus. So if you go into a 2-year master in management, there are high chances that you will go into 2 different campuses. The first year will be in Le Havre, so in Normandy. And the second year, you can choose between any of the specialization, and most of them are not in Le Havre, except 3, which are, as I said, supply chain and international logistics. So if you're specifically interested in all that comes to maritime studies. So I won't go into a lot of details for these specializations because we have a lot to see this morning, but if you're interested, of course, please do not hesitate to ask questions about them to me personally. I'll be happy to tell you what's into these specializations. So what's to take about this specific slide is that either you have 3 years in higher study level, and then you can study with us for 2 years more. Or if you have more than 3 years in higher education, you can go directly into the specialization. We'll go into more details about this on this slide. So as I said, the 3 kind of postgraduate programs are the 3 first ones. So the Master in Management, the Master of Science, and the French Master of Science, Master Spécialisé. So for the Master in Management, you need to have prior 3 years of study or a bachelor a license degree, whatever will equal 3 years of studies. We will also ask for a language test if you're joining either the French or the English track. So for the English track, we'll be expecting a TOEFL or a TOEIC 790 or an IELTS test 6 minimum. For the Master of Science, if you have already completed 4 years of study, we'll be expecting the same level of English, but of course, a little more studies. Okay, hope this is clear for you. Same again, if you have questions, I'll be happy to help after the presentation. So about the admission process, I believe this is very classical. Most schools will offer something like this, but just to sum up, it takes in average 2 weeks, sometimes a little less, if everything is ready. So the first step is the online application with the application fee to be paid, which is 50 euros. Then if your file is complete, we go into the file review. So we'll see all of your supporting documents and verify that the whole is complete. So the supporting document will be a motivation letter, resume. We'll be expecting also a proof of your current studies level. So either a diploma, if possible, your grade transcripts to support your file, and then an ID, and if you have, reference letter from your university. So all of this will make your profile. If your file is complete, then we will offer you to go into the Skype interview. So everything is done through video chat with one of our professors. And if the interview is positive, then we will offer you to join the school and to tell us that you're ready to confirm your enrollment. We will ask for a deposit. The deposit is 2,500 euros. A few words about our graduate satisfaction on our program. So this is a focus on the master's degree. We can say that 94% of them are satisfied with their first job, so the job they got right after their studies. So this is 2018, but actually the numbers are exactly the same this year for the satisfaction. This year, 96% of them found employment in less than 3 months, and 68% of them found employment before graduation. So this is a very high satisfaction for our graduate students. You can also see at the top, at the bottom of the slides, you can see an average of the salaries that our graduates can expect at the end of their studies. This is, of course, for all our graduates. So this covers everywhere our graduates are working at the moment. This could be France or anywhere else. So coming into the specific benefits for international students, of course, we have services that we reserve for international students, knowing that you come from far, you're outgrounded, you're sometimes a little disoriented, and you need specific attention. So we put up a few services to help you have a nice time studying, focus on your studies, focus on your experiences, also extra studies. We have scholarships. There are small amounts so that we can give a little more scholarships to more students. But so if you're interested, don't hesitate to ask. You'll have my email at the end. We have an early bird scholarships for students that are meaning to enroll before the end of February. So that could be interesting for you. And we have a few merit-based scholarships as well. We provide support for accommodation. So it depends on which city you will go into. In Le Havre and in Caen, in the Normandy campuses, we can provide very, very personalized support for your accommodation. It's easy to find a studio or an apartment there. But when it comes to Paris, it's much more difficult. You have to know that Paris is a more expensive city. It's more difficult to find a place to live in. So you'd better be prepared for this. Of course, we're here to help you, but it's more of a jungle as compared to Normandy, where well, you can go on foot to the campus because your studio is just 5 minutes away, and it's cheap and it's easy to find your friend after school. So if you're not very at ease with a big city, I would recommend that you go in Normandy, where we can help you more individually and be sure that you find something comfortable. Then we also provide support for administrative procedures. We have a dedicated service called the Hub, and they help you for opening a bank account, for your healthcare, your insurance, when you arrive in the campus in September. We also provide an airport pickup. This is done by our International Students Association. So they can come and pick you up at the airport when you arrive. This is usually followed by an integration week where you have a lot of events, but don't worry, there are also events during the year that you can join, and also associations. So I'm sure you'll have a very interesting social life. And during your studies, you can also take additional languages. Needless to say that I highly recommend for you to take French lessons. It will make your everyday life easier, and you will make the most of it, of your experience in France. So that's a possibility you should consider. That's it for now. Unless you have questions, of course, I'll be happy to answer. You have my email address here, which is jmontuel, my family name, at em-normandie.fr, and our website if you're interested to have a look into the programs and all. I leave the floor for now, and I believe we'll be taking questions. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you so much, Miss Juliet. It's amazing to know that EM Normandy Business School has at least 5,000 companies as strategic partners. And I truly believe that this key figure alone sets EM Normandy as a great platform for aspiring graduates. And personally, I would love to study and visit Normandy for its scenic postcard views, and of course to see the beautiful Mont Saint-Michel. Yeah, so yeah, with that, I think we have heard from our speakers this today, and now we will proceed with the question and answer session. So we'll be taking questions from the chat box, or if you would like to ask yourselves, feel free to unmute yourselves and impose the questions to our panel today.
So John, actually in the chat box, there is a question from Fitri Adwani, but Mr. Rafael and also Miss Mariana has already answered. Maybe we can get an answer from Miss Juliet as well. She asked, she said, I'm sorry if I missed anything, but is there a student exchange program in any of the following schools or colleges?
Yes, well, I believe in France, most of the schools, be it business or engineering, will offer you possibilities for exchange. It's also our case. Either you can do an exchange during the first year of the master's, or you can also look into the possibility for a dual degree during your second year. So that means you will spend your whole second year during your master's in the partnering university, and you will get both diplomas. So that's a very interesting opportunity, actually.
All right, thank you, Ms. Juliet. Okay, and we have another question from Belle, and she asked, for master studies in France, is the minimum requirement of DELF B2, or is it differs according to the programs offered? I think anyone can start.
Maybe I can start. Usually, yes, they ask for a level of B2 if you study in French. If your program is in English, the universities will not require you to have a B2 level of French. And some ask even for a C1 level. So it really depends on the program. I don't know if my colleagues want to add something.
No, what you just said, Alice, is correct. So just to complete, for the studies in English, we do not have a fixed rule. So we accept all different kinds of certificates, ranging from Cambridge, ELTS, TOEIC, TOEFL. So we are pretty flexible when it comes to English. However, I do like to stress the B2 level in French isn't just necessary in order to integrate the best level and to succeed, because yeah, it's just necessary for French. B1, we had experience with B1 students, which was roughly okay, but in order to have a full success for your studies, B2 is just necessary.
Yeah, I do agree with Rafael. We also expect B2 for our programs. This is a minimum, and there is no B2A and B2B, but we actually expect a high B2, and we'll be evaluating this during the interview. Just agreeing to this, if you don't have B2, this will be very, very difficult to follow courses, and we don't want to put you in a failing situation. So this will be the minimum expected.
For Sciences Po, I just typed in my answer in the chat box, but for studies that are taught in French, that will be C1, and for master programs in English, that will be, well, we accept different certificates. It will be 7 for the IELTS, 100 for TOEFL, but you can check that on our graduate studies website. I must apologize because I have another, because it was scheduled until 5 p.m. and I have to join another Zoom meeting, but I will be very happy to get back to you by email, and we can arrange another meeting if necessary. So thank you very much for the invitation. Thanks to all the students, and feel free to contact me if you're interested in studying at Sciences Po or Université de Paris or INALCO. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Miss Mariana. All right, so we will take a few more questions since time is running short. We have one question coming from Chen Zuoyin, who is a student in University Science Malaysia, USM. So he wants to know if non-Malaysian citizens can apply for the programs being shared just now. He is an international student from China, currently a master's student who is studying in a local Malaysian university and would like to pursue a PhD in maybe a French university after this.
Yeah, so some scholarships are only for Malaysian citizens, but some are for anyone in the world, so except French students. So it will depend. You can check the requirements. The one I mentioned, the MFUC scholarship, is only for Malaysian citizens. And for the other one, it will depend on your nationality. You can check that online. Everything is on the website, on the Campus France website.
All right, merci. So next question, with the current pandemic situation, how are the classes going to be conducted since students are unable to travel? Tough question.
Who wants to go first?
I can start by saying that France didn't close the border for the students, so you can still go to France now. Unfortunately, you have to follow a quarantine and you have to take a PCR test before leaving, but it's still possible. And I'm really hopeful that in September, everything will be much better. So I don't know if my colleagues want to share their experience, because I'm not in France right now, I'm in Malaysia. So I don't know if there are more information.
Well, yeah, basically what you said is true. So this has been something that that France did as well in last September. So France welcomed all students who were able to travel and did not close the border for students. We are all optimistic and positive thinking people. So let's just hope that everything will be okay, because I think Juliet agrees. For right now, we are planning forward for the next fall entry like nothing happened. So we try to be as positive as we can and recruit as much students as we can.
Yes, exactly. We're really hoping for back to normal in September. Well, back to the new normal, this is what they say. However, at the moment, it's important to note that most schools made a lot of efforts to adapt to the crisis. So how courses are organized right now, most of them, all of them are online, and we are hoping to start again maybe what we did in September and October back in 2020, which is a hybrid teaching. So this means part of the class will be physically on campus, and the other part of the class will follow from home, but from France. And that allows for everyone to go through the campus at some point and see everyone and meet with the teachers. So that's always something that the schools now can do. That's a solution, an in-between situation that can happen still before September, because we really hope that by September, all the vaccination will have taken place, or at least the most important ones, and we will have won the biggest battle against the sickness. So I'm pretty positive that by September it could be back to normal.
I want to ask a question about PhD in France. If someone study master by English, especially I have got my master from University Putra, Malaysia, in agriculture. Is it for this guy also TOEFL is need or no? For
I think the question was if you need a TOEFL for applying for PhD, right?
Yes.
I don't know, Alice, if you agree, but I don't think there aren't any restrictions to that, because PhD studies are highly individual. So basically, the laboratory and the leading professor who accompanies you, they decide. But usually, no. Well, you have to have a proficiency in English, but usually for a PhD course program, you don't have to prove.
Yeah,
You don't have to prove a TOEFL at Cambridge.
Yeah, I don't think they require it, but maybe some do, but you never know. But I think mostly if you already studied in English and they can see that you're proficient in English, they won't ask you for a certificate.
All right, I hope that answered your question. I think since we have limited time, we will take 2 more questions. I will do the first one by Brandy Leia. She asked, I am currently a Bachelorette +2 student from Grenoble. Is it possible to start applying for the master's program, or would I have to wait till Bachelorette +3?
Good question. If you're actually right now in your second year of bachelor, you will have to wait for your next year to apply.
Or if I may.
Yeah, it depends on the programs. Yeah, sorry.
Depends on the program you want to apply for. If you want to apply for a master's, also it depends. Maybe you're aiming for university or for a specific program. As for business school, and I'm only talking about our school, of course, you may have different paths you can take. For example, in our school, you can join the 3rd year of the bachelor, so you can actually finish your bachelor with us, and then you get the bachelor degree. And if you're interested, you can follow through with a master degree with us. That's also one possibility you can explore.
All right, thank you. So we'll take the last question for today's webinar. This is from Muhammad Nurul Azmi from University Science Malaysia. How about the co-tutel program or joint PhD? Do we need to settle the agreement first? And how do we know which universities has the co-tutel program?
Okay, so if you want to do a co-tutel, you have to ask directly to your supervisor. You have to find a supervisor in Malaysia and one in France. And then you can start writing the agreements, and then you can start studying for your research program. But yeah, the first step is really to get a researcher that will supervise you in Malaysia and one in France. And about how can we know? Every laboratory in France they do co-tutel, but it really will depend on the supervisor you will find.
All right. So would Miss Juliet or Mr. Rafael would like to add anything before we close the Q&A session?
Well, if anything, thank you very much for your attendance, and we hope we raised your interest in coming to France. Please don't hesitate to contact me or us. I'm speaking for you, Juliet. I'm sorry. If you have any further questions, and terima kasih. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, sir. Miss Juliet.
Nothing special to add. I was also very happy to talk to all of you today, and same. If you have any question, we'll be happy to help. And thank you, Anis, Alexandra, and John for your coordinating this session.
All right, thank you so much, merci beaucoup. So I guess that means it's the end of our webinar today. But before that, we will take a virtual group photo as a memoir for this auspicious virtual occasion, an online webinar to promote study in France. So like with that, I would like to pass the session back to Mr. Hafiz. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Lala, for this being a wonderful MC for this event. Of course, I would love to say very much thank you to Alice, Juliet, Raphael, and Mariana for doing the presentation. It's so awesome. I think the students are being inspired by your presentations. I do believe after there'll be more questions coming up to you guys, either personally to your emails, and I don't know, I mean probably to MFUC. Okay, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my very good friend, Madam Erwina, and her team, for making this event so impactful, so inspiring, and we hope that we can do this again in the near future. And of course, this is not going to be the end of this session. There'll be more sessions coming up after this with friends. Okay, with that, I would like to say thank you and congratulations to all, and hope to see you guys again. Terima kasih beaucoup. Okay, bye. Terima kasih.